We have seen many cases where parents disconnect TV sets or even carry it out from the sitting room to discipline a child. You are welcome back to the Funkema Lomon's channel. Today, we are going to talk about a working strategy to discipline a child using logical consequences. What are consequences? And how can we make use of appropriate consequences to discipline a child? Consequence is what happened after an action has been carried out. In parenting, consequences could be either natural or logical. Natural consequence is what happens after an action has been carried out without parental influence. An example is when a child goes out to play in the rain and is beaten by rain and he catches cold. This is a natural consequence to his action. A logical consequence, on the other side, is set by an adult after an action has been taken. For example, if a child throws out his toy, the toy can be taken away from him for some time. Natural and logical consequences are part of the ways to discipline a child. It is far beyond disciplinary measures of beating, spanking, knocking, kicking. Some parents go to the extent of biting the child. Now, let us go through some practical methods that we can apply to use consequences. 1. Loss of privileges or withdrawal of gifts. For example, if a child violates rules many times, you can withdraw a birthday gift. You can disallow him from attending a particular function. This is like you are giving him a consequence for his action. The second method we can apply is take 10 minutes break. Take for instance a particular child that is fighting the siblings all the time. He's always the one that is fighting with A, B, C, D all the time. You just ask this child to go inside the room for some minutes. You will see that at the time that child comes back, he is the one that will be most peaceful. He will not be the one to report anybody that is finding his trouble. Another one could be additional chores for refusal to do his own chores. For instance, if he refuses to wash plates, you ask him to wash the plates and still sweep the ground. Removal of toys for a child that wants to destroy it is another method. When the child is using his toys and is destroying it, very simple, remove it from him and keep it. So when next you give him back the toys, he will treasure it and he will not destroy it again. Another practical step that we can use is reduction of time from enjoyable and desirable activity. For instance, cartoon. If a child enjoys watching his cartoon and is constantly disobeying a particular rule or an order, you can deduct time from his activity period. Or football time, instead of him to watch it full time, you watch it half time for disobeying a particular rule. Another disciplinary action that can be used is if you mess up a place, you clean it. If you break it, you fix it. Even if it is deducting from his pocket money or his allowance to replace it. Early to bed is another method. For instance, if the child sleeps by 9 o'clock usually and he went out, he did not come back to the house as agreed, you can ask the child to go to bed by 8 o'clock so that he will learn, this is the consequence of my action. The next one could be spend time with those you hurt. For example, is hurting some people, is making them to feel pains, and instead of them to become enemies, you now make him to stay with that person for a period of time. Before you know it, they become the best of friends. You can also employ quiet time. Just ask the child to go and sit down and be quiet for some time. That could be another practical method to discipline that child. Many children love to hit somebody to the extent that their hand must be the last on that person's body. such children, you can ask the child to put his hands in the pocket for some time. One thing that many children don't like to do is to work, to do their chores. They prefer to play all day. The simple method to use here is no work, no play. Once this is maintained, the children will align. Using logical consequences comes with a lot of benefits for parents. Children learn from their mistakes because as soon as the action is taken, the consequences that follows is teaching them that this is the result of my action. When used properly, logical consequences can teach the child to become highly responsible, accountable, and become a problem solver. It improves parent-child relationship. It reduces power struggles, increases emotional intelligence, encourages open communication between parents and child, and overall make the bond between the parents and the child to become more solid. It provides opportunity for the child to choose his action through logical thinking. Punishment comes from the place of retaliation for a bad behavior that the child has committed. That's why you see some parents, they will tell the child, okay, you did that, okay, you come and meet me at home. And all of us know what it means for a mother to say, you meet me at home. Punishment breaks the bond that will have been formed between the child and the parents. To get the desired results in using logical consequences to discipline a child, there are do's and don'ts. Let's take a look at the do's of logical consequences. Ignore the child's misbehavior except if it is harmful to him or to other people around him. Once you ignore the child like that, you will just see that he will stop what he's doing. Apply consequences immediately the actions are done. This will make the child to understand that this is the action and this is the consequence of the action. Use praises and rewards. Whenever the child does anything good, appraise him. Let him know, this is great, this is awesome, you have done well, you have made me proud. And when you have a thing to offer, give it as a reward for any good action. Be consistent and follow through with your actions and methods. This will make the child to follow with whatever you are doing, bearing in mind what works for you and developmental age of the child. Be patient while using these logical consequences because it may take time for you to see how effective it is, but with patience and more practicals, you will see that it works after all. Remember to seek for professional help even after using these positive discipline methods and the child still persists in the bad behavior. So many of these children it may not be their fault. It may be as a result of some developmental challenges, which may be medical, which could be psychological. So know the time to seek for professional assistance. Just as we have do's, we have don'ts. Let's quickly look at the don'ts. Never blow it out of proportion. For instance, if a child is not doing his own work, the consequence cannot be removal of the television outrightly from the sitting room. The logical consequence should be something that is suitable for that action that the child has committed. Never delay the logical consequence of the child's misbehavior. Let it come immediately. Let it be after that action has been done. In conclusion, there are 3 R's to be applied in logical consequences. 1, you should be related. 2, you should be respectful. 3, you should be reasonable. I know that a lot might have been going on in your mind even after watching this video. Feel free to reach us with your questions or whatever you want to share. We are always here for you. Please show some love, like, comment and subscribe. See you again in another value packaged video. Thank you.